Hi, this is the voice of Heidie Calero with another fascinating economic capsule on Puerto Rico. Today we are going to talk about something so obvious that any economics student, first year economics, will tell you that we need economic growth if there is going to be an economy that is feasible, that people can have a higher standard of living, and that we can compete in this global environment. Don't forget, those of you who like our economic capsules, to give us a like, and those of you who are seeing us for the first time, to subscribe to the voice of Heidie Calero. This is a service of Puerto Rico Economic Pulse. The first graph that I'm depicting for you shows really the importance of having this compass, this model. It's the economic policy model that Puerto Rico developed back in the 1960s, Operation Bootstrap, and that really took Puerto Rico into being another island with prosperity and with economic growth, and not the slum that we used to be as the poorhouse of the Caribbean back in the 1940s. This first graph depicts the Puerto Rico economic policy model. It was based on low wages and low cost of electricity, based on access to the US market, and certainly it was external trade, our lifeblood in terms of economic growth. And two things remained inconclusive from this economic policy model, and that was the modernization of agriculture as well as the political transformation. Notwithstanding those two not concluding elements of the Puerto Rico economic policy, let me show you what we achieved with this important model. And that is the second graph that I'm depicting for you right now. It's the annual real growth rates of GNP in Puerto Rico in different periods. The first column is 1949 through 1974, just before the big recession of 75. And we grew on average 5.9% annual real growth rates. We haven't seen those growth rates in ages. And in some of those years during that period, we even grew at 7 or even 8% real terms. Moving forward, 1974 through 2006, which is just the year before our current depression started, and we had recessions in 75, in 81, 82, 83. We had the financial crisis of 1987. We had many things happening during that period. And despite all that, we still grew at 2.4%, aided also with another important section of the US tax code, which was section 936, but which unfortunately it was given up by the then governor of Puerto Rico. Moving forward, 2006 through 2021, the last fiscal year for which we have official statistics, it's negative 1.6%. And even in some years it's been negative, especially after Hurricane Maria in 2017. You know what is the rate of growth that we need in real terms annually, that we need to regain our level of real GNP in 2006? We need 4.5% annual real growth every year to really regain that 2006 level of GNP. Let's look then at the third graph, which depicts for you what the Puerto Rico Planning Board, which is the official agency that should be planning. It used to do that, but now under the Secretary of Economic Development, under this umbrella, it seems that it has lost its destiny, its final objective, and so they have forecasted that overall for the next long term, it could be an average real growth of 1%. If you look at this graph, the blue line depicts the real GNP growth that we had from 1990 through 2021. Notice that since 2006, the blue line started declining. And if we look from 2021, just growing at 1% is the green line of the Puerto Rico Planning Board. You know how long it takes? 23 years through 2045. I don't know if you're going to be alive. I don't expect to be alive, but maybe my son and my grandson may see that if we grow at 1% annual average growth. if we look at 4.5% annual growth, you know how long we returned to 2006, just before the Depression? It takes us 5 years. So it would be like 2027 that we could be back on track with real GNP growth. And if we look at the forecast, which is the orange line that you see there, that is the forecast of the Puerto Rico Oversight Board, that is the Fiscal Oversight and Management Board, PROMESA. It takes them 102 years. Yes, 102 years to go back to the level of 2006 real GNP. Do you think that that is reasonable for an economy that used to grow from 1949 to 74 at a clip of 5.9%? What is wrong with us? Economic policy must be geared, everybody must be geared to really attaining economic growth, real economic growth, so that we have people who can have a great standard of living, who can pay for inflation, not only this cycle, but future cycles as well, and can compensate for these increases in prices, for our young professionals not to be migrating out of Puerto Rico, but staying here in this island because they see the opportunities, for Puerto Rico to compete globally with other countries in the world, and for the aging population, the senior aging population that stays in Puerto Rico, to really pay and receive the essential services that they deserve after all these years of contributing to this economy. Well, that is our economic capsule. Remember, it's all about economic growth. Let's see if somebody out there is listening, be it in the executive branch as well as in the legislative branch, and of course the judicial branch. Don't forget, if you like our economic capsules, to give us a like, and remember that the economy is all of us. Thank you.